All right, so we are now halfway through the block. These next 2 weeks are definitely going to be the most important because week 3 is going to be 87% for 5, which would be equal to my estimated 5 rep max. And depending on how well I do, I'll either be able to go up to 88% or 90% for 5 for the PR. I originally asked for an increase. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I'm pretty sure it was just like 92, 93%. And he did say that that probably wouldn't be a good idea. But I did also ask to do an extra rep if I felt strong, and he did not say no to that. But I do understand that I should be careful, and I don't want to go just all out because I still have kind of a ways to go till we get to the 1 rep max. And I don't want to do anything stupid and injure myself before that. So I'll only go for 6 if I think that it won't be above an RPE 9. And I haven't really gotten that good with RPEs yet, so it's probably just going to be like an 8 or an 8.5. I also want to try something a little bit different for just my deadlift. I kind of want to pretty much just embrace the rounding of my upper back, because I've noticed that I'm able to keep my back straight. Like my traps are strong enough that I can just keep the bar in that position. But like the grind is kind of, it just looks bad, and it feels like I'm doing something wrong. So I just want to change that up a little bit and see if having a slight round with extending my arms feels a little bit better. I also want to adjust my overall stance and setup because some of the cues that I take, when I implement them into my pulling, it just looks like I'm doing something wrong and it just feels off. So I think I want to kind of add comfort into my setup, and not really comfort as much as just feeling natural, like kind of cues that have a wide, just cues that are non-specific. Like I saw a Brendan Teets video. He said that your knees should be stacked over your ankles, and so I did that, and then when he stacked his knees, his feet looked different than when I did mine. So I kind of want to embrace things like that just to see how I deadlift and not how other people deadlift, because my body isn't really built like they are, because everybody's different. I'm also going to have to try and make the most out of my warm-ups, because I had to deadlift on Thursday, but Friday is when I do my squat and deadlift form days. So I had to skip that, and I haven't really had time to try out some new things. So I'm just going to kind of try and remind myself to not mess around doing my warm-ups, because I need to use them as practice. And for bench, I'm really not worried at all. The new form's been going great. I don't remember if I said this already, but I do want to try and adjust my leg drive, because I find that trying to do the push, which I normally do, isn't really working as much. So I want to use my legs as more of a stabilizer instead of using them to get a little bit of extra strength out of the hole. And I am going to be switching back to mixed grip for the foreseeable future, just because I noticed that whenever I get too fatigued on hook, I just my brain automatically switches to mixed grip. And it's not really a grip strength thing or like a pain thing. It's not because my thumbs hurt. I think it's just because it just feels a lot more natural for me. And I think I've actually been using hook for longer than I've been using mixed grip, because started 8 months. So like probably the first 5 or 6 were just overhand, and then I switched to hook for a little bit. I mean mix for a little bit, and then I switched back to overhand. Then I went to hook, and now I'm back at mixed. So yeah, I've been using hook grip for longer than mixed grip, and it still just feels more natural. So it's not really just I haven't gotten used to hook or anything. It's just that it's just not for me. And so far, the only difference that I've noticed between the two is that mixed grip has a little bit more emphasis on my back. And at first, I thought that was a bad thing, because I've actually tried doing the rounding before, and I noticed that it had a little bit more pull on my back, and I thought that it was bad because it was uncomfortable, but I think it was only uncomfortable because it was new. So I just kind of want to give it a little bit more of a chance. And I haven't really decided on it fully, but I might actually be kind of open to letting it interfere with the lift, just for the sake of, this doesn't work. I'm sure that this doesn't work, and I'm not going to try it again, because if I try it and then I immediately switch because there was something that I didn't like, then I can't really be sure that it doesn't work. And I think that I need to be just a tiny bit more open to letting myself fail, like letting myself fail for the sake of growth and knowing what works and what doesn't work. But that's pretty much it. Definitely looking forward to making some new PRs and just lifting some heavy ass weight. But yeah, I'll see you next time.